Hey everybody, welcome back to Northernlion Plays the Binding of Isaac Afterbirth Plus. Dude, I'm bad at... How did it happen? I used to be good at Isaac, now I'm bad. How did it happen? Well, maybe I didn't used to be good, I'm not sure. PGFL VDXV, always dangerous. The numbers control the strength, the letters control the Zane. So it looks like a zany run today. 1.15 speed, rate of fire could be better. Damage, really good actually. Luck... Not really. I don't even know why. You know what? Petition to remove luck. IAA certified from the default assessment of starting situations. Hey, petition to not take damage against a bunch. You know, that's for punishment. That's my own form of self-flagellation there. This is going to make us or break us. Never mind. It's going to be almost irrelevant. Hey, we're going to get a free key out of it. I say almost irrelevant because I thought that we were going to get something a little bit more potent. Like the lead actress in the Firstborn movie. Not the movie about the Firstborn, i.e. The Passion of the Christ. I'm talking about the first, oh my god, it's Jason Bourne movie. Alright, now I got my head screwed on straight. Ready to do some damage and win a run here. Again, I'm disappointed. In myself, honestly, more than anything else. Disappointed in myself. In my past performance. You know, we've played enough of this game. We shouldn't be getting destroyed 2 times in one run, especially when one of those runs, you know, has the brimstone connection like Gene Hackman. And yet, here we are. But I'm not going to let it get to me too much. I'm riding high. We had a lot of fun runs recently, and it's not like we're playing for keeps. It's not maybe people always, you know... Whenever they talk about sports, they talk about, oh, he doesn't have a winner's attitude. Maybe that happens, you know? I think you can tell from watching the NLSS when we play games. I'm competitive, to be honest. I wish I were less competitive. Austin is more competitive than I am, but if we're in like a 1v1 on something, most of the time, I want to win. When I grew up, I was a serious sore loser as well. Okay, Ruka, you may leave, but I have to kill the Duke of Flies first. I want to point out I tried to let you leave, and then you decided, no, you wanted to stay. Now I'm opening the door, and there you go, you're free. To do what you want, any old time. Pentagram is a great choice. Happy to have it. 6.05 damage, definitely no slouch. We've been in this position a lot lately. What do you do to get yourself out of this miasma? It's very simple. Don't take damage before you get a Spirit Heart. If you can avoid taking damage in advance of getting a Spirit Heart, you're probably going to get a deal with the devil, or you're definitely going to get a deal with the devil. And you're probably going to come out with the W as a result of that early game momentum. I think this is a very good room to pop Book of Belial on. 16 cents also leaves us in a wonderful position to grab something from the shop. Might I suggest, Spirit Heart? We'll take that. At 4 HP, we're very unlikely to get a deal with the devil that makes it so that, you know, we'd be losing out on HP by taking it right now. It does happen. Like, there are 4-banger deals with the devil. I saw Surix, fellow Isaac aficionado, much better player than myself. She's up there in that Corey category of, like, Isaac players who inexplicably for some reason are aware of who I am, yet despite that are substantially better than me. It's like Connor McDavid coming up to a road hockey player and being like, hey, I saw that goal you effed up last week. Well, I was winning the freaking Art Ross trophy for the 2nd time in a row before the age of 21. This could be bad, I knew it. All we needed to do was find the shop and follow the dang train, CJ. Well, dude, so I was right. In a way, that's the happiest I've ever been with a bad trip pill. Because the reason I didn't pop that pill was because I was like, it might be bad trip. We took damage from another source, I pop it, it's bad trip. Either way, we still got 58% chance of a deal with the devil thanks to Pentagram. I didn't realize it was going to be a better than 50% chance. That's amazing. Both of these are bad, but I want the precedent because we have so much HP, and Magic Mush is just exceptional. So we, thankfully, and I do mean thankfully, did not suffer as a result of messing this one up pretty badly. Now we'll just go to our shop, which apparently was probably like 2 rooms away this entire time. We can't be mad, you know? 13 rate of fire sucks, but 9.69 damage this early in the run is ridiculous. Anyway, I didn't finish my train of thought. I was talking about deals with the devil. I saw Surix, she tweeted one. She had 4 items. I think it was 3 guppy items and brimstone, but I might be incorrect. It might have been like 2 guppy items, brimstone, and pact or something like that. It was just a ridiculous bevy. And I was like, thank you for tweeting that. So people in the community will be like, maybe NL doesn't have the best luck. The curse has now passed on to you, Surix. Now people will assume that you have the best luck in the eyes of the community, and they can belittle your accomplishments. Not that that's ever happened to me. Man, 2 in a row. Kind of whiffed on it for us. Not really good enough. Very, very good. And now, like, if I could just avoid buying everything, or anything for the rest of the game, I'd be extremely pleased. So here's what we do. We take the Emperor card. And we're probably going to use it immediately. Is that IAA certified? I think it is. You know why? We didn't buy a Spirit Heart. So we don't have Deal with the Devil protection. We're unlikely to get a Deal with the Devil, but we might as well take a stab at it, you know? Why not? No special rooms to teleport out of. We still got... You're gonna... Math geniuses hate him. It's not even math geniuses. It's more like, you know, probability sticklers. We more or less have a coin flip. 40%. Sure, 40-60 is not 50-50, but on a one-time roll... Well, I was really hoping that, despite being probabilistically ignorant there, it would help me out a little bit. That's okay. Don't get me wrong. In a 40-60 situation, give me the 60. In a 50.01% situation, give me the 50.01. I'm just saying, if you're only going to roll one time, you know, it's not that much of a concern. Maybe. Maybe it's more of a concern, depending on your perspective. We got, like, literally the exact same payout there. But everything's looking good. As long as we can keep our HP high, we're totally fine. And we should have a very, very good chance of getting a Deal with the Devil on the next floor thanks to this Emperor card. And the Ace of Spades exists pretty much at this point just to, give us a way out if things get truly terrible. I'm doing the whole floor, though, because I want all the money. You know, we get 0.04 damage for each penny picked up. Not to mention the chance of a luck upgrade. Penny for your thoughts, quarter for your call. What comes next? Wilkinson's fans? And all of your mama's love. That's correct. Never gonna make it onto trivia. In any capacity, but that's okay. Is there, like, there was a sale at the card store on Ace of Hearts? Is that what happened? It's pretty much the only thing I can fathom. Now, you're gonna say, why on earth are you spending money? And the answer is very, very simple. I'm spending money because 3 cents for a red heart is gonna allow us to potentially get much more benefit on the back end. And look at that, the luck upgrade, even just that by itself is worth it. Now, we probably should have used the Ace of... Let's try this. That's very good. We probably should have used Ace of Hearts. In fact, we probably still should use Ace of Hearts, but we got plenty of time here. Even with Boss Rush still available, like, we got little to worry about. Just keep grabbing those coins. I'm not saying 99 cents is a certainty for us. Rather, what I'm saying is we got a great chance at... I mean, I wouldn't mind getting IV Bag. But Blood Bag is kind of the thing that's on my lips right now. And if I'm lucky, it might just give me a little kiss. It's just Magician, Emperor, Ace of Hearts. And 2 of those cards, you know, I'm happy as heck. But you can take it as a stab. I'm not an enormous fan of when the other ones show up. But I don't even want to sound like there's like a chance that I'm complaining about having 14 damage. In a way, it's a nice novelty. Rarely do you find yourself in a situation where you have essentially the same damage in tier stat and be happy about it. Like, you could have 1 damage and 1 rate of fire. You'd probably still be pretty cheesed off about it. Probably 10 and 10 is maybe a happy medium. 5 and 5, not bad. What about 1,000 and 1,000? I don't know. I haven't really thought about that. It could be good if you shoot for 1,000 damage as soon as you enter a room, but if your tier delay doesn't work like that, then it's not quite the same thing. But, you know, I digress. So we got a minute and a half before we even start to feel like we could be under the gun. as far as boss rush goes. But we also got an Emperor card to contend with here that we got nothing to worry about. IV bag. I think with money equals power... Oh, I'm a happy man. I think with money equals power, we will take IV bag. It's actually 0.05 damage, so we got, 3 damage, essentially, that, I should say it's 0.05 damage per penny. So we have 3 damage waiting for us if we can get to 99 cents, which seems fairly plausible. What I'm going to do is look for a second secret room. Hope it's red hearts. It isn't. But somehow I find myself not too perturbed by this turn of events. So we'll get a key piece. We don't want to deal with the angel. I like to keep my Mega Satan options open just because, at the very least, if I choose never to fight Hush again, I can always go back and be like, well, I did the, I fight Mega Satan now and then. So it seems relatively acceptable to me. And we'll move along. Looking just chef's kiss. Again, it's not much of a kiss. It's more of a, like in a movie, like my big fat Greek wedding style kiss right there. I'm embarrassed that we took damage on this room. Like, life goes on, but, my pride is definitely wounded. But maybe that's not the worst thing. Bury my pride at Wounded Knee. It's a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles reference. I understand that the reference is probably filtered through an atrocity during Manifest Destiny, but disregard that because my only, where is the deal with the devil? It's up there. My only source for it is, Turtles in Time. Honestly, I can't not. And you can talk about the fact that, sure, we had Brimstone 1 video ago, but we lost. As embarrassing as it is to admit, we lost that one. Oh, this is love. I'm much happier in this situation. Plus, our tier effects were not, like, anything to write home about. So, we 100% made the right decision. You know what? 2018 is all about treating yourself. I've decided that now. Almost, well, more than a quarter of the way into the year, but that's okay. There's still time. We're on a second floor, right? Yeah, Flooded Caves too. We're on an even floor. Better way to describe it. We're on a floor where if you did the modulus, it would equal 0. Dude, we got 10 cents out of that. Ooh, okay, now, so this is one of those rare, it's like a gift to the Magi sort of situation. If we had booger tears, we probably would not have taken Brimstone. But we didn't in advance. So to some extent, I have a certain degree of regret. But I'm gonna stop apologizing for taking Brimstone, mostly because my win-to-loss ratio has gotten a lot worse recently. We have elite damage, incredible. As far as I'm concerned, if you got Brimstone and you're not shooting the poops, well, I should be careful with what I say, because probably the vast majority of the time I've had this situation, I haven't shot the poops, but you get the idea. Hook me up here. Create some space so you can deal with red hearts if they show up. Get some luck upgrades. Make mistakes. Get messy. Where's that Miss Frizzle attitude? This will be a speed up. For a second there, I was half right, technically, if you want to get technical about it. And the mulligan. Oh, okay. And this is why I don't really believe in the power of positive thinking to a large degree. What do we have here? I'm drowsy. I don't really believe in the power of positive thinking. It's the idea some people have where, hey, my life sucks, but, if I think positive thoughts about it, it's more likely to get better. What I do believe is that if you leave yourself open to opportunity and you try to put a positive spin on situations while realistically appreciating them if they're negative and, looking at them in a rational situation, you're probably more likely to be able to pivot to a success. Because you know what? Life does have a certain degree of failure in it. Take it from the guy who loses whatever video game he's playing on camera, probably like 2/3 of the time. It's what you take from that failure that matters. It's the way you react to it and what you take from it. That's why I think, that sometimes I watch other people play Isaac, and they're like, like, I get flack when I say a run is not one. I watch some other people play Isaac, and they pick up, you know, their first item room is like Cricket's head, and they're like, should I re-roll this? And I'm like, you're crazy. That's amazing. Like, you think there's like 2 good items in the game? That's incredible. I'm all about making lemonade out of it. Doesn't even have to be lemons. You know, when life gives you oranges, make lemonade. How do you do it? That's what your journey is. Figure it out. Ooh, excuse me. So again, I feel like I'm going very slowly, but we are exactly on pace, more or less, to make it to boss rush. We're doing a great job exploring, and then exploring has paid dividends because we're at 15 damage almost. 15 damage. It's crying over. It's Goodbye Horses. You guys like Silence of the Lambs? This is a great movie. If you haven't seen Silence of the Lambs, oh my god. That's one of those. There's probably like 50 movies, and I'm deliberately choosing a high number here, where I don't care what era you were born in. I know Silence of the Lambs came out in 1991. It's not really an old film, but if you've never seen it, it holds up irrespective of the age, you know? Silence of the Lambs is one such movie. If you've never seen it, it's a timeless performance. Fantastic. If you liked Hannibal the show and you haven't seen Silence of the Lambs, get your butt in gear. It's incredibly tense. Great film. Okay, I guess I'll be taking meat, which I probably would have taken regardless, but I don't know, it would have been tighter. Dude, Razor's actually kind of tempting. Financially, we're at 97 cents anyway, right? Or 90, we're gonna be at 99, I should say. Let's take Razor. Without Gimpy, we're not really getting any long-term advantages out of having IV Bag. And this is the right time to maybe pivot to a Razor that can give us a damage bonus. I'm hoping that the damage bonus is larger than like +1 damage per play, because that's not gonna do that much for us. What are the other movies in that camp? I think like the next obvious choice, as far as I'm concerned, and again, I want to point out, I'm a product of my era, so I'm not gonna say Citizen Kane. I'm not gonna say, you know, North by Northwest. And I'm not going to say Sunset Boulevard, you know? But I would say Jurassic Park. From my childhood, I don't think Jurassic Park is a 10 out of 10 movie. It might be. It's up there, at least. You know, and it doesn't have to... I give out about 110 out of 10s a year. So it's not like that means it's an unprecedented film. I only really have, like, 5 ratings for films. If it's utter garbage, it gets a 0. If it's middling, it gets, like, a 4. And then everything else that I like gets between an 8 and a 10. It's pretty much how my movie rating scale goes. We're going to get out of here a little bit faster just so we can make sure that we get to our boss rush, should we desire the opportunity to do it. Jurassic Park is kind of like it's a zeitgeist, you know? You got to watch it. No matter when. Forrest Gump is probably another example. And I know Forrest Gump is not necessarily a super well-respected film in today's day and age. I think it's very watchable, but it's one of those cultural moments, you know? E.T., another good example. I put a lot of Spielberg on there. I'd say, you know, Raiders of the Lost Ark for sure. All 3 of the original Star Wars movies, even though I stand by the fact that to this day, Return of the Jedi is not a good movie. I'm sorry, okay? You're inclined, or you're entitled to disagree with me. If you want fuel to, like, just completely discount my opinion, I've seen all the Star Wars movies except for the new ones at least 4 or 5 times each, including the prequels. Episode 1 and Episode 2 are horrible. Indefensible. If you were 8... Well, I mean, that's not really fair, because I was like 8 when Episode 1 came out. If you were like 4 when you saw Episode 1 for the first time and you have some nostalgia for it, by all means. But if you're like my age and you're standing up for the prequels, first off, don't let me tell you how to live your life, you know? But I just disagree with you. It would be the polite and accurate and apt way to describe it. I think Episode 3 gets way more flack than it deserves because of a couple of cheesy scenes. And those scenes they boggle my mind, trust me. I don't understand how you could be, like, in a room watching the final cut of Star Wars Episode 3 Revenge of the Sith, and nobody steps up and goes, hey, George, you know when Darth Vader goes, no! Do you think maybe we should just, like, at least do a second take? Well, what's wrong? I don't see... It's bad. It's, like, it's really, really bad. But it also is, in my opinion, a victim. Oh, we want to play this guy, you know, another 300 times. Oh, I need to check the bestiary as well to see if we actually did fight the blue fatty last time. It falls victim to something that it's like my #1 pet peeve about film criticism, is when people use exactly one thing that happens in a movie to completely discount it. And, you know, not everybody's of the school of thought. It's just people that are like, well, you know, in science, if the aliens wanted to, if their weakness was water, why did they land on a planet whose atmosphere is 70% water? And, like, the worst part about it is that you're right. It's a kind of a plot hole. You could definitely point at, people have pointed out, like, oh, maybe they were desperate. You know, maybe they had no other option. They were running out of fuel. But that's not part of the world building. The gist of it is that it undermines the premise. I understand that, okay? And you're like, if I can't believe in the premise, I can't believe in the whole movie. As far as I'm concerned, a movie like Signs, you know, an otherwise taut psychological thriller with some good freak-out moments that have, you know, stayed with me to this day. Particularly the Brazilian or Mexican home video where the alien walks by after not seeing the thing for the whole movie. It's a disturbing moment. So, and, you know, I take a little bit of offense, well, not offense, but I get a little bit annoyed when people are like, I liked the movie until one stupid thing happened, and then it completely ruined it for me. I don't necessarily see it as the sum of its parts. And to me, that happened in Revenge of the Sith, which I don't think is even that good. The bigger flaw with that movie is, and here's some Star Wars spoilers, if you've never seen the Star Wars films. I don't think we want that, to be honest. Dude, just please let me use Ansus so I can see where I'm going. The bigger problem for me with Revenge of the Sith is that at the start of the movie, you know, I know it's been telegraphed that Anakin Skywalker has a dark side, but at the start of the movie, he's like, I'll never betray the Jedis. And then the Emperor is like, please? And then he's like, nah. And then the Empire is like, pretty please? And he's like, all right, sure, I'll kill everybody. To me, it just seems like it comes out of nowhere. To me, but anyway, I haven't read the extended universe, which has been previously rendered non-canon by Darth Lucas. So I don't know if am I even allowed to comment? Are you gonna gatekeep me? Maybe I should gatekeep myself, to be honest with you. It's not gatekeeping to necessarily be told that your comment is ignorant when it comes from a place of ignorance, I suppose. I should stop the, projecting. We made it, and as a result, we got poison if we want it. But with 16.76 damage, I don't think poison's that relevant. Let's go! 110. He's done it! He hit everything. All of the stops were made. So he finally hit 1,000,001%, while talking about the fact that I still think Revenge of the Sith is probably a better movie than Return of the Jedi, but just, previously I've come to, I've been watching the Star Wars movies again as the new ones have come out. By the way, I'm going to try to use the parlance of today's youth. I'm not a Star Wars stan. I'm a Marvel stan, okay? I check r/Marvel Studios more often than I should. 2 weeks surrounding the release of any Marvel movie, I'm on that subreddit every day. It's embarrassing for a 30-year-old man to be so invested in movies about comic book heroes that, to be honest, I wasn't even, aware of as a kid growing up. Like, if you grew up with comic books and you're like, I can't wait to see what they do with Captain Marvel. I don't know why you sound like that in my head. It's a little insulting. And I get it. But I never knew who Captain Marvel was. I'm not saying even comics are for kids. I'm just saying that's how I know Marvel is set. Is because I never cared about comic books growing up, and still I'm waiting with bated breath for Infinity War. They won. They just won, okay? I'm not saying they won over DC, because apparently that's an incendiary subject. What I'm saying is they won over the consumer. When I first saw Iron Man, I was like, hey, Iron Man's cool. He's got an orange suit. I believe he has a drinking problem, and he was great in Marvel vs. Capcom 2. Now I'm like, but Iron Man's parents invented the arc reactor and hid it under the World's Fair in St. Louis, and as shown depicted during the events of Iron Man 2, but then Tony Stark and his mother got involved in some shady dealings, and the Winter Soldier arose on the scene. There's a whole series of lore that I'm now aware of that I couldn't care at all about. So I'm a Marvel fanboy. If Infinity War is garbage, or even just disappointing, then we'll talk about it, okay? I'll accept the intervention, but I'm not a Star Wars fanboy. I liked The Force Awakens. I really liked The Last Jedi, and, you know, we don't need to go any further than that, but I genuinely do think it's, like, a bit of a breath of fresh air for the franchise, and yes, I understand that you're gonna, but what about the casino plan? I know, I'm not a big fan of that moment as well, but as I've just, you know, established in the past, I like a film more than as the sum of its parts, and you may disagree with that, and that's okay. So what I'm gonna say is, like, don't consider me to, like, just because I like one of the prequels decently. And of course, Ewan McGregor, you know, he's above reproach. He's a great actor. Oh, I'm so glad I came this way. So what I'm about to say, I could end up being wrong, and I've learned a very valuable lesson. And that lesson is insanely simple. Don't bet against Marvel and Disney, you know? I should really just say don't bet against Disney. Even when their movies are bad, they're usually, like, pretty good. In this day and age, at least. But I kind of think Solo looks like trash. I'm open to being proven wrong. Like, I'm not attached to that opinion. I would much rather it comes out and is fantastic. And then everybody's like, this is a breath of fresh air again for the Star Wars universe. And, you know, I'm so glad that this movie's... This is a great time for Pandora's Box, by the way. I'm so glad this movie's part of the Star Wars universe, and it's, you know, we haven't really, you know, one of the things that Disney movies, the Star Wars ones have suffered from is people saying that they're a little bit disparately comedic, like there's a little too much comedy in it, takes away from some of the moments of gravitas, and I actually think that there's a real nugget of truth that I agree with in that statement. But if maybe they could make a Star Wars movie that's kind of like an Indiana Jones film, where it's a caper, and the humor is not necessarily, tonally dissonant with the rest of the picture, that's cool, and that could be that movie. But I think it kind of looks like poo-poo, you know? We'll see. Dude, have you seen... I can't believe I'm getting... I could probably do 30 minutes off the cuff about this friggin' movie. So, Kate and I saw A Quiet Place the other day, and I think I mentioned that already. I'd recommend it, as long as you're confident you got a well-behaved theater audience. I think you'll enjoy A Quiet Place. Great movie. But before A Quiet Place, and I saw this trailer on TV as well, there's a trailer for a movie called Truth or Dare. And hey, is this what horror movies have become now? Is, like, do people just think back to games they played as a child? And then they're like, what if we made a horror movie based on that? Because what's the premise of this? It's like the same as Unfriended, but just slightly twisted. What if it's Truth or Dare, but what if a cosmic force corrupted the Truth or Dare game, and if you didn't follow the rules, you died? So it'd be like, Truth or Dare. Dare. Break Saffron's hand. I can't break her hand. I can't do... Ah! Then she does it, you know. The theater openly laughed when the trailer came on. We were like, really... I think everybody, we were kindred spirits in that moment. We said, this is the worst idea for a movie I've ever seen. Now, I will say, the premise of the movie, if it's self-aware, if they're aware of the idea and play it up, that a Truth or Dare game gone wrong based on some kind of demonic and malevolent supernatural forces at play, if they have a little self-awareness like Scream did, it might turn out. But it looks just so bad. Has anybody seen the trailer for this movie? It's called Truth or Dare. I'm like, what's next? Have we had Ring Around the Rosie yet? Red Rover, we call You're Next over, you know? Tag, you're dead. Just think like that's... I talked in a recent episode about how, like, the renaissance of horror has been awesome, and I agree. Yeah, well, mostly because I had made the point in the first place. But, dude, that's like... That feels like a horror movie that should have come out, like, 8 years ago. Just like, where does it end? It's a coloring book, but if you color in the coloring book, you die. It's a cursed swing set. It's called Swing. What happens when swing goes wrong? Nursery crimes. Anyway, you get the idea. Hey, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the episode. This is a quick one. If you did enjoy, click the like button. Also, a great deal. Of course, subscribe if you want to see more in the future. For now, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.